Hi guys, it's Morgan and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about episode 15 of season 6 of Riverdale, chapter 110, Things That Go Bump in the Night. Now, if you haven't seen the episode, there will be spoilers in this review, so stop watching if you don't want to be spoiled. So, here's my review of episode 15 of season 6 of Riverdale, chapter 110, Things That Go Bump in the Night. Now, before I get to the review, I just want to say that it's been confirmed that season 7 of Riverdale will be the show's final season. And even though I'm a fan of the show, I wasn't really surprised about that announcement. I remember reading something that said that the cast had a 7 seasons contract, and I know that contracts can be renegotiated, but I had a feeling that season 7 would be the last season. Also, I would imagine that the cast wants to move on and do other things. I know that cast members have filmed movies in between filming Riverdale, but I'm sure they want to move on. So I'm excited to see the rest of season 6, and I'm looking forward to seeing what happens in season 7. Since Cheryl and Heather asked each other if they were seeing anyone, it's obvious that something is going to happen between them. And I'm looking forward to seeing their relationship, even though I do still want Cheryl and Tony to get back together. It was also really upsetting to find out that Tabitha wasn't able to get Pops declared a national landmark, but I thought it was a good idea when she told Archie that they can move Pops to a different location. That way, Percival can't take it down, and it would still exist. I really like the new FBI agent, Julian Drake. It's good that Betty has someone that she works with that she can talk to about what she's dealing with. But it is interesting that Drake believed Betty when she told her that she can see the aura of people who have evil intentions. Because you would think that if she told someone that who wasn't Archie, Jughead, Veronica, Cheryl, or Tabitha, they would think she was crazy. I understand that Fangs wants to provide for Anthony and Tony, but it really annoyed me when he joined Percival's crew and left Archie's crew that Archie put together to help Tabitha. Yes, Fangs would get more money if he was in Percival's crew, but I'm really hoping that Percival won't end up controlling Fangs. Before this episode, it's been a while since we saw Juniper and Dagwood. I guess we can assume that they were somewhere in the Cooper house and we just didn't see them. But when Betty saw that Dagwood had the evil aura, I wasn't really that surprised since there's always been something kind of off with the twins. But it was interesting that Dagwood had the evil aura and Juniper didn't, but Dagwood didn't have the serial killer gene and Juniper did. It was also good that Betty was able to get the cat that Juniper and Dagwood had to safety, since it's obvious the cat was in danger from Juniper and Dagwood. I really loved seeing Jughead and Veronica working together, with Jughead using his mind-reading abilities in a show at the Babylonium. But since Reggie was in the audience, it was obvious that he was going to do something. So it was really annoying when Reggie asked Veronica for a cut in her and Jughead's show, and the way he got Veronica to agree was by blackmailing her, by telling her that he could tell Percival that Veronica put out a hit on Hiram. So when Veronica asked Jughead if he could also erase people's minds, I was wondering if Jughead would be able to do it, but I also thought that Veronica was really smart to think that, because if Reggie forgot that Veronica put a hit out on Hiram, he would have nothing to blackmail Veronica with. I didn't blame Tabitha for thinking that Percival was the one who was moving all of the stuff that they had taken out of Pops back into Pops, since that does sound like something Percival would do. But after a lot of strange things going on at Pops, it was revealed that Pops was haunted and the ghosts didn't want Pops to move. Also, when Archie didn't believe Tabitha about the ghosts at first, I just thought, you and all of your friends now have magical abilities, but you draw the line at ghosts. I didn't blame Tony for being upset when she found out that Fangs was working in Percival's crew. And I was glad that she told Fangs that some people say that Percival can control minds. So it was good that Fangs said that Archie told him about that, and said that Fangs has to think of a tether so Percival won't control him, and Fangs decided that he would think about Anthony. It's really been annoying me to see Uncle Frank working with Percival, because ever since Uncle Frank first appeared on the show, I've really loved his relationship with Archie. So I was really happy when it looked like Uncle Frank came back to Archie's side after Archie showed him a picture of Uncle Frank and Fred and told him that Fred would want Archie and Uncle Frank to find their way back to each other. So it was really sad when Betty saw that Uncle Frank had an evil aura and they realized he was still working with Percival. But when Uncle Frank threatened Archie with a piece of palladium, I wasn't worried since palladium doesn't affect Archie anymore. But I am hoping that Uncle Frank becomes strong enough to fight Percival's control. I liked that Tabitha got Cheryl and Heather to help her figure out what was going on with the ghosts, and they found out that the train that Percival wants to make is a ghost train, and it'll be connected to the final battle. It was also good that the ghosts agreed to let Pops be moved, but it had to be rebuilt as soon as possible. I also thought that Cheryl's reaction during that scene was really funny. And I think it's safe to assume that a lot of Riverdale fans probably had the same reaction. I loved when Jughead made Reggie forget that Veronica put a hit out on Hiram. And it was really funny when Reggie said that he was going to tell Percival, but when Veronica asked him what he was going to tell him, Reggie couldn't remember. The bad thing is that since Reggie told Percival that he thinks Jughead and Veronica made him forget something, Percival now knows that Jughead is getting a better handle of his powers. I felt really sorry for Betty when Alice told her that she hopes she never has children after Betty took Juniper and Dagwood away from Alice. It was also a surprise that Betty saw that Alice had an evil aura, since she never saw that before. I know that Alice is being controlled by Percival, but it's a horrible thing for a mother to say that they hope their daughter never becomes a mom. So that'll be a hard thing to come back from. Since Heather told Cheryl that she's a witch and that she thinks Cheryl's a witch too, and that she was taken in by a coven after her mother died, I'm going to assume that the coven that raised her is the coven that Sabrina's in, especially since they both live in Greendale. And since it's been confirmed that Kiernan Shipka is going to come back to Riverdale, maybe Heather asks Sabrina to come help them fight Percival. I was surprised when Tony asked Fangs to marry her, but the reason why she asked him isn't okay, since she's making Fangs believe that she wants to marry him because she loves him, but the real reason is so they look like a strong couple against Kevin for the custody battle. So that's not gonna go very well when Fangs finds out. Also, since the episode ended with Betty looking in a mirror and seeing that she has an evil aura, I'm wondering, along with Betty, who she's a danger to. Thanks for watching, guys! If you saw the episode, let me know in the comments what you thought about it. And if you want to see any of my previous Riverdale reviews, check out the playlist. And if you want to see any of my future Riverdale reviews or any of my other future videos, click that subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.